I've always found myself pretty intrigued about achieving things such as inner peace and stillness. I also live by the philosophy that each and every one of us doesn't need any external energy in order to achieve inner peace. This is mainly because everything that we are looking for just resides from within us. For this reason, I decided to start my meditation journey almost a year ago, and I began meditating every single day since. Now, of course, there were some days where I ended up feeling heavier than I did before meditating, but I decided to keep my consistency and just kept going. This, as a result, completely changed my attitude, my demeanor, and even my life purpose. In addition to my daily meditation, I incorporated some visualization after each session, where I would allow my mind to think about things that would generally make me happy. Letting my mind wander freely like that gave me the opportunity to properly listen to what my subconscious mind wanted my conscious mind to know, in order to change things like habits, relationships, and energies that were secretly weighing me down, and incorporate more of the things that were uplifting and brought me happiness in my day-to-day life. Gradually but with certainty, I began to increase my daily minutes and dedicated more and more time to meditation, and began meditating for an hour every day. However, on the side, I found myself becoming increasingly intrigued by historical rulers and figures. More specifically, I found myself extremely intrigued by Joseph Stalin, so I began to read books. I began to read books about Stalin, such as Stalin, a biography by Robert Service, Stalin, Paradoxes of Power, 1878 to 1928 by Stephen Kotkin, Stalin in Power by Robert C. Tucker, The Rise and Fall of Stalin by Robert Payne, and numerous other books. I read so much about Joseph Stalin that the amount of information that I was taking in began to influence my meditation. Sightings of Joseph Stalin began to occur. At first, it was merely glimpses of his face from the corner of my eye every now and again and distant whispering. But fucking of course, those sightings began to occur more and more frequently. At many points during and after my meditation, the words, letters, and numbers that Stalin made became more loud and audible before becoming faint and quiet once more. So I began to try to decipher what the messages and whispers Joseph spoke to me were, and by the end of every session I wrote down everything on a piece of paper. After approximately a month of meditating and using this method continuously, I found that Mr. Stalin began to get closer, and his whispers began to get clearer. And slowly but surely, the messages that I wrote down every day began to become more and more legible. In addition to the verbal messages that Joseph Stalin tried to speak to me, he also communicated with me in Morse code and binary. This guy's fucking nuts. This made deciphering the messages extremely difficult and very time-consuming, but deep down I was well aware that the message Joseph Stalin was trying to communicate with me was important and would have an impact on the world. And one day, I came to an epiphany, a sudden realization of what he had been trying to tell me all along. That night, as I skimmed through all the pages of deciphered numbers, letters, and words, my eyes widened as I saw launch sexwithstalin.exe.
Блядь, не раскрывается. Нужно больше практики.
Anyways, from now onwards, I will only be full of regret. Let's fucking go!
Бас колбасит соло, колбасер по пояс голый.